Hi, welcome to the Mom series, The Misunderstanding of Multiplicity. This channel is about MPD, multiple personality disorder, DID, dissociative disorder. It used to be called MPD in the 80s and early 90s, late 70s, 80s, early 90s, and in 1994, the American Psychological Association changed the name to DID, Dissociative Identity Disorder. And I think it was more to explain how dissociation and identity, how dissociation affected identity in this condition, experience, or disorder. For 4 years, I give my little intro all the time. For 4 years, I've been doing a channel here, a shared channel. With those, I share my body and my life and my time and my experience with. Coexisting, co-running, coexisting, shared memory, co-communication, sharing this channel. We share everything. We share eating. We share sleeping. We share body aches and pains. We share the body. We share happiness. Some of us share happiness more than others. Some of us share sadness with tears. Some of us don't cry. Some of us eat for comfort. Some of us exercise for comfort. Some of us, everybody, we all handle our emotions differently, but we share what we're doing. And then we each try to give each other space. And that can be very challenging at times when you're sharing your body, but it's the experience that I have had my entire life, and I never knew a name for it until 1986. The problem was that a lot of psychiatrists had come up with thinking about multiplicity one way, and very much like the Sybil depiction, Sybil Dorset depiction of having all these fragmented parts or underdeveloped or stuck selves and alter egos that were traumatized and that had memories that the initial core persona, the child that was birthed or on the birth certificate, or the baby that was born, the original person never got these qualities because they were fragmented. And so they needed to merge together and integrate in order to be whole and be able to function. This is what psychiatry continued to put out there. Along with that, psychiatry continues to put out there, and still does to this day, that people with dissociative identity disorder, or MPD, continue to disassociate whenever they're stressed. Then they've also gone ahead and said that that disassociation comes with a certain amount of amnesia. They've also said that when they disassociate, often a new alter during stress is born. And if a new alter is born, it's because they hold a memory that then you need to go back and work and find out what that memory is in order to be whole. So my thing has been, a lot of people, but I've been out here talking about it, is that this is very profitable to psychiatry and to psychology to believe it's this way. I've been very clear about looking at media and psychiatry and books and true accounts that further that myth, that disinformation. And I'm sad to say that often I feel it's the very people that are diagnosed, including myself for a time and this group and members in this group, that added to that misunderstanding and the myth by believing what psychiatry told us, and often believing what the psychiatrists were telling our psychotherapists who were doing counseling for us. If you had a counselor that was looking to looking to understand. I'm always amazed. I'm always just shocked when people are like, I'm DID and I must go to a DID specialist. I cannot go to a regular counselor. I must go to an MPD DID specialist. Or some people write me and say, my doctor doesn't know a damn thing about DID. You know, they don't understand anything about dissociation and trauma. They don't understand anything about what it is to be MPD or DID, and they just don't even deal with it. And I need somebody who specializes in it. And I want to say, good, they don't understand. Because if they tried to understand the way psychiatry has said it, you might never get off their couch. You might get sicker before you get better and stay very sick. And you might never be co-conscious or able to function if you got somebody who really understood it, like you think they need to. All that really needs to be understood is that a trauma is a wounding, it is an event. If there is repetitive trauma, anybody learns how to cope to get through repetitive trauma. Let me give you an example, because I always do. When I was 10 years old, I'm just about 10, because it was June, I'm thinking, wait a minute, I can't be right. No, I was still in school, so I was probably 9 going on 10. It was 1969, because I missed a lot of school while I was in the hospital, so it was like I'm trying to think of my records of what the date was on that I actually had the surgery. But at any rate, I had, in 1969, and I'm 53 years old, I was born in 1959. In 1969, I had a tumor on my thymus gland. And if you look, you can see there's a scar here. It starts right here. And it goes all the way down to here. Close to here. And the tumor was the size of a grapefruit. Last I checked, grapefruits are about this big. I've got my thoracic surgeon's notes. I've got my pediatrician notes. I've got my mother who told me what was what. I've got my dad who told me what was what, my aunts, my uncles, and I remember. I never forgot being 10 and in the hospital and having to have an angiogram and tube put in my groin and tubes all over and transfusions. I think they couldn't get veins in my arm. I had transfusion in my foot. I had tubes coming out of my chest. I had tubes coming out of my arms on a board. I was kind of strapped down. I couldn't have my chest was all open. The scar was just there, so I was just laying there naked. From the chest up with constant dressing, being dressed. It was very difficult, to say the least. And I'm glad that I slept through a lot of it, but I also remember a lot of it. Now, because I don't remember every single thing that happened, every single icky test, or every single time I had to blow into a machine to cough, to breathe, or every part of the angiogram, or every part of the catheters being changed, and the blood transfusions, and the machines breathing for me, or because I don't remember every bit of that, does that mean that I have to go back and find those memories? Or say there is a person in this group that remembers more about being in the hospital. Do I have to really, do all of us have to know that during the night a girl on the floor died, and you know, it was quite a while that her body was there, and we couldn't really see, nobody could really see, there was a curtain there, but you could see the relatives going in and out, and it was quite a hysterical event. And you know, I remember enough of that. Do I have to remember all the particulars about why she died? Or no. I remember a good friend of mine telling me that she was like barely 6 years old. No, she was 12, I'm sorry. She was going 11, 12, when her mother died in front of her. Her mother her mother was in a sledding accident and died. And she was the oldest of the children, and she had to shelter the children, and she became the little mother. And there were certain events of that she remembers so clear, like seeing her mother on a sled. They were on a Christmas holiday, and all the kids were sledding with their mother and their dad, and the mother decided to take one more sled ride and crashed into a tree. And she remembers very vividly her mother's head, and knowing that she was like her father saying, "Take the kids away, go away." She knew right then that her mother was dead or dying. Well, there were a lot of things over the years that she started to remember about that whole event, that whole night and everything, but there were certain things that she blocked out that was healthy to block out. What psychiatry is saying is that when something traumatic happens, we have these alters and people that exist because we need their memories of all that trauma, and we don't. So that's pretty much what I've been wanting to say. And I'm in a really different place right now where I wanted to make it clear again, I'm not anti-psychiatry, I'm anti-labeling everything that we do not understand or have an answer for right now. I am of the belief that a lot of people that are multiple or DID are falling into those traps of believing the functions that they think the different people in their system or group are alters, and thinking that if there's a new alter, there must be an old new memory that's bad that they must go get or they won't get better. And I really wish health for everyone, and to, again, continue to try to look at it a different way. And to, I wear this bracelet all the time. It's not a multiple bracelet. It came from a peace and justice program. It's called Coexist. I don't know if you can see that. It says Coexist. We all have to coexist, whether we're multiple or just whatever, human. Go down the street, stand in a line in a store to buy something. You gotta coexist with everyone in line. Get in a car, go wait at a traffic light. You gotta coexist with everybody in that traffic until, work in a company that sells products. Yeah, all have your all different styles of selling and personalities, but the goal is to sell the product and be a team. So you gotta coexist. So that's what this channel has been about, and I'm sorry that I haven't written some of you, but I did make it very, very clear that the first 3 weeks of August, or the first 3 weeks of October, were going to be tremendously busy for me. My nephew and my niece got married last Friday. My dad was in town for a week. My daughter was in town for a week. My cousins were in town for a time. And even though we didn't get together as much, I had also my housing inspection going on and paperwork I had to do, the new owners, meeting them. The maintenance was in and out, doing everything they had to do for a last-minute inspection, which passed. And I had a lot of busy work to do. And so I said, I'm going to be busy until October, the first 3 weeks. So much so that I even told my therapist, I'm going to be busy. I'm not making any appointments. And what came of that was, maybe we need to start looking at closing out our work or redirecting it, make it less, because you don't seem to need to be doing therapy. If you can go 3 weeks without, and we've gone 3 weeks quite a few times, but when he's gone on vacation and everything, but this was my time saying, I want to go 3 weeks without, I think he thought I was going to have to pick up the phone and call him, and I didn't have to, which is a credit to our work and how we all get along together as a group in the Mosaics. So I'm at a place where I'm really chasing health right now and trying to stay very healthy. So if I have not written you, it's just because I've been busy, and I will write you when I can. And I wish you all health and a happy October. Okay, take care.